Family, a very pleasant night to all, and for those in Radio Land, those in the diaspora, wherever you are, I can say good night if you're in the UK. I can say good morning if you're somewhere in Asia. Or I can say good afternoon as well, but whatever it is, greetings to all. I want to thank Almighty God. I always thank God for blessing me with opportunities like this one. And I also want to thank my cabinet colleagues for the support I get in cabinet to do the things I'm doing. I also want to thank the good people of East Basseterre, because without them, I'm not here. I stand before you today not as a shepherd. I hear there's a shepherd someplace. I am no shepherd. I stand before you today not as a preacher. I am no preacher. I stand before you today not as a teacher. I am no teacher. I'm neither a shepherd, a preacher, nor a teacher. I am just a servant. Your humble servant. You know me, and I know you. You know me, and I know you. As your humble servant, I have the privilege to serve as the minister with responsibility for public infrastructure and other portfolios. And as I said, I thank my cabinet colleagues for the support. And I continue to lead the charge of rebuilding and modernizing our beloved federation. As I speak, my family, I am happy to report that phase 1 of the Island Main Road Resurfacing project is substantially complete. The 5 kilometers, beg your pardon, going from camps down to challengers is complete. The other 5 kilometers from the roundabout in Connery there by the airport to Keys would be completed in the next 2 weeks, I'm advised. We had some challenges with the removal of the water lines from across the road, because we have to move these utility lines, because in the past, when they resurface or repair the road, the utilities will come and dig up the road, wasting money. So we said no. We're going to move, where possible, those utility lines on the verges to the side of the road to avoid recurrence, as I just announced. I'm also advised that phase 2 of the Island Main Road Resurfacing project will soon start. And by this Wednesday, the tenders will be published. The tenders will be published in all the newspapers, the media, so that process can start. The model we used, my family, was we ensured that as a team unity administration that puts people first, we must have local contractors working on this project. So we had 6 contractors: Ali's Construction, Booney's Construction, B&B, O'Loughlin Construction, and Huggins Construction. And amongst them all, they have employed just about 100 local employees. So the money is circulating in the economy. That's what your team unity is all about, putting people first. I am also advised that this model will continue into the second phase, which would entail the road from Keys all the way around to Challengers, some 38 kilometers, my family. I am further advised that the tender for the old roadway project will be published this week, Wednesday as well. And that project will start in earnest. Because this is a very important piece of infrastructure in the network here in St. Kitts and Nevis. The long-awaited fisheries project at the Old Road Fisheries Complex. The contract has been signed and all negotiations have been completed. And that project for the fisher folk in Old Road and beyond, that project will start in the next couple of weeks. And I want at this juncture, my family, to thank the Director of Public Works and all his engineers, George Gilbert, Livingston Pemberton, Larry and Gums. Give them a wonderful round of applause for executing our projects. I want to also thank all the local contractors that I just mentioned. Give them too a wonderful round of applause. They have worked on the drainage and the pedestrian access, the sidewalks. And that first portion or first component of the project is estimated at $18 million. And that money came from the Treasury. That money came from the revenue. They asked where the money coming from. The Minister of Finance will tell you, I'm sure. They're wondering where the money coming from. Yes, good fiscal management. Say it. As I speak to you, construction of the second cruise pier is continuing. It's ongoing. Remember, this started on the 23rd of March early this year. And it is on schedule. Don't mind the one who rejected, wrote to the Canadian government to try to stop it. It's going on schedule, my family. And that is expected to be completed by September of 2019, when two of the world's largest ships, the Oasis class, will dock alongside that pier. Thanks to your team unity administration. Some $43 million US dollars, over $130 million has been will be spent on that project. At peak, over 100 employees will work on that project. And most will be local, I can tell you. But that's a condition, my family. So don't mind the expired leader sent this malicious letter to the Canadian government. This project is going on and will be concluded come March, God's will, God's spear, come some September, beg your pardon, in 2019. Rehabilitation works as well is ongoing at the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Airport. As I speak, come at 10 o'clock tonight, the contractor will be on the airport resurfacing that runway. Some 17 days remain to complete the resurfacing works at the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Airport, barring no rain or bad weather. After that, we will install brand new runway lighting at the RLB International Airport. And we will also rehabilitate, we will refurbish the taxiways as well, my family. And on the taxiway, as I speak, some 38 workers, 29 of them are locals, are employed on that project. And we expect to spend $41 million to repair the work, for the repair works at the RLB International Airport. But why we had to do that, my family? We inherited a rundown public infrastructure, dilapidated public infrastructure. Yet they had so much money. But what did they do with the money? What they did with the money? The Island Main Road full of potholes. Somebody sang a song about pothole dodging. You remember that? But no more dodging of the potholes, no wonder team unity. But don't forget as well, we gave you a Christmas gift last year. We gave you a brand new ferry terminal. You forgot? We gave you a brand new ferry terminal. For the new year, we gave you traffic lights. Traffic lights, modernizing the country. That's what your team unity administration is doing. And come this Christmas, we have another gift for you. We're going to give you a brand new East Bus Line terminal. We are working for you, my family. And I want to remind the Prime Minister that the traffic lights was only phase 1. We did a study, and the Prime Minister promises. He's the Minister of Finance, so I have to remind him. He said he got the O. We have to fix phase 2 of the traffic lights. So come this Christmas, as I said, a brand new bus terminal. I'm advised that the contractor will hand over that terminal sometime this week, and we'll do the finishing touches. And for those of you who have made applications for the booths, there are only 5 booths. 4 for vendors of your choice, and 1 for a barber. But I want to assure you that if you don't get this time around, phase 2 will have an oversupply of booths and even a restaurant. So just gear yourself for phase 2 as well if you don't get in phase 1. Mark you, only 4 are there. Let me warn you. So I want to crave your understanding. Now, infrastructure development is crucial to our continuing economic development. Our economy continues to grow. Budget surplus after budget surplus. We have now reached or attained the international benchmark as it comes to our debt. Remember, when we came into office, as the minister responsible for Petro-Carib, the Prime Minister and myself went to Venezuela the second week. And we learned that they owed Venezuela $121 million. Never paid a cent for the oil they got from Venezuela. Never paid 1 cent. Got the oil from Venezuela to run the generation plant and never paid the bills. And God bless the intelligent Minister of Finance. And he has paid to date $21 million, right, sir? $21 million. We'll pay off that debt. We'll amortize that debt over 5 years. So we're paying our bills. Our debt to GDP ratio is gone to 60%. And guess what? The Minister of Finance and Prime Minister paid the IMF to you. Paid off the debt, the man leave $170 million. But I want you to take heed. Take heed, my people. Because as a buoyant economy, it can collapse in the wink of an eye. It can collapse with a gunshot. So take heed. Take heed of those opposite who will like the economy to collapse. Because they are spreading a lot of things, a lot of false news and fake news all over the world. They spread fake news about the Prime Minister. You remember that? They spread fake news about me. But I tell you, beware that our economy can collapse with a gunshot. God forbid one of these idiots fire a shot and they kill a tourist. God forbid. So I want you to take care. So we have to do all in our powers to protect our gains and our country, my people. While we are modernizing and rebuilding, those opposite want to break down. Imagine there are criminals on the rampage, executing one another. They even execute my son. And what we want, my family? The criminals on a rampage and the police high command ask for support. They ask for us to bring the RSS. And every single member in the cabinet, I'm talking the cabinet business now. Go ahead. Every single member in the cabinet supported it. We had a unanimous support to bring the RSS to St. Kitts. And the cabinet granted the request of the police high command. And guess what? The biggest criminal in St. Kitts write to the RSS and try to stop it. You know the criminal? You know him? Who? Who? You say so, you're not me. The biggest criminal who banned from me born right to the RSS. Try to stop it. But my people, we have to protect our gains. Our gains we made in just over 3 years, not 20 years, 3 years. We have done in 3 years what they took. Well, they haven't done some of the things we have done. They haven't done some of the things in 3 years. We must understand we have come too far to turn back now. We cannot allow a handful of criminals to sully the name of this country and help our economy to collapse. Especially that handful includes the former Prime Minister. We can't allow it. If the High Command of the police force requests the support of the RSS, then we must all of us, give them our support. Please give them your support. The RSS is funded by us. We pay almost $1.5 million to fund the RSS to ensure that the security is in the OECS region. And what are we protecting? We are protecting the gains we have made. We are protecting our future. Look at the young children here. We are protecting their future as well. So we have to support the RSS. A lot have been said about the RSS. And I must make the point. I support the fundamental rights, and I believe that every one of us are entitled to our fundamental rights and freedoms. And they must be respected at all times. But our people as well must respect the rule of law. The law is the law. And every right-thinking citizen will agree that these are extraordinary times and they need extraordinary measures. So in these extraordinary times, we do not have to yield to something to get the crime situation under control, or we do have to yield sometimes to get the crime situation under control. Facts and truth are not partisan. Facts and truth don't back no party. Facts are facts, and truth are truth. And facts and truth are the bedrock of our democracy, and we must defend them. You are either with Douglas and his band of scallywags, or with your team unity government. You are either with the band of scallywags or with our Constitution. You are either with Douglas and his band of scallywags or with our history and the future of our federation, or you're against it. Make up your minds. Everyone must answer that question. We have too much to gain to allow Douglas and his Labour Party to come back and further ruin this country. All they seek is power, entirely for their own sake. They are not interested in the good of others. They're not interested in the good of the people. All they want is power. And at all costs, he must prevent that. He's like the Greek philosopher. For him, war is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength. He's like an economic terrorist, terrorizing the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. But I point you to 2 Timothy, nothing to Timothy. It's in your Bible. 2 Timothy verse 7 reads, and I quote, "For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." Say it again. God gave us a spirit. Say it after me. For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power and self-control. In closing, I say thanks to all of you for bringing us to this juncture. We have come too far to turn back now. We have to keep moving on. Forward ever. Forward ever. Thank you all. May God continue to bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you.
Stay up to date with news, programs, and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. And watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.